Okay, good. So D, E, F. Okay, what about B? Can someone raise their hand and tell me what order is it? A, B, C. Good. Okay, someone else tell me C. C. RST. I agree. Questions? Okay, last thing for today is, I know these aren't triangles, but we're talking angles and 180, so we're going to talk some parallel lines review, okay? So last thing for today, and then it's going to be homework time. You guys are doing great. It's almost like you're so happy to be done with quadratics. Next 2 or 3 units are all triangles, and then we do circles, and then the year's over. Can you believe it? Okay, so vertical angles, all right? So instead of writing out the definition for these, I'm just going to draw a picture because sometimes I think the definition makes it harder than it is, okay? So for vertical angles, when 2 lines intersect, okay, there's opposite angles that are created on either side of the intersection. And those 2 angles end up being congruent. Oh, we need to review congruent. Anybody remember what that means? Equal, good. And then we need to review supplementary. Supplementary. Anybody remember what that means? Add to what? Good, adds to 180. Okay, so vertical angles. So the 2 angles that are formed opposite of each other when 2 lines intersect are congruent. Okay. Alternate interior angles are a parallel lines thing. So parallel lines are 2 angles that are never going to touch. The fancy word transversal just means a 3rd line that's not parallel. Okay. So interior means inside. So think inside the parallel lines. And alternate means like alternate sides. So what we're looking at is this angle and this angle. So they're on alternating sides of the transversal, but inside the parallel lines. What do you guys think? Are those going to be congruent or supplementary? They're congruent. Good guess, though. They're the same. Nope. Questions? Do you guys remember doing this before? Yeah? Good. Okay, alternate exterior, so same parallel lines. There's a transversal. Still alternate sides of the transversal, but exterior meaning outside of the parallel lines. So this angle and this angle. It is congruent too. Okay, I'm just going to pause here. Any questions so far? Anything so far, you guys? No? Okay, corresponding angles. These are another parallel lines thing. So the way I like to think about corresponding angles is it's 2 angles that are in the same spot on each of the parallel lines. So the idea is if you can imagine the top parallel line sliding down until it goes onto the other parallel line with the 2 angles being exactly the same spot. That's what a corresponding angle pair is. So like they're both in like the bottom left corner in this case. Okay? Congruent. Adjacent is just any two angles that are right next to each other. And they are supplementary. And then the last one is another parallel lines thing. Interior, so meaning inside the parallel lines, but same side, meaning the same side of the transversal, not alternating sides. And these are supplementary as well. So the reason why we need to know if they're supplementary or congruent is because that's what's going to help us set up the equation to find our x. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, so let's do a cut. We're going to do two together, and then I'm going to have you do two on your own, and then we're done. So 6A, which of our 6 angle types is 6A? It is vertical. Good. So because it's vertical, that tells me that they're congruent. So to find x, I'm going to take the 2 and set them equal to each other. So 6A was vertical. So that is how I know how to set them equal to each other. Now I just find x. So x equals 8. Questions? Okay, we're going to skip to C. Which of our 6 angle types is C? Same side interior, good. Which means supplementary. So does that mean I'm going to take these 2 and set them equal to each other to find x? Not supplementary. Supplementary doesn't mean equal. It means adds to 180. So if it's a supplementary one, I'm going to add them together and set it equal to 180.
I like congruent ones.
Yeah, congruent ones are easier. Can someone raise their hand and summarize for me, how do I know when to set them equal to each other to find x versus add them up and set it equal to 180 to find x? How do I know? Can I have someone raise their hand and remind me? How do I know when to find x I need to set the 2 things equal to each other or add them together to get 180? How do I know? Come on, guys. Not necessarily opposite. That's a good guess, though, Brayden.
If it's congruent or supplementary.
If my angle pair is congruent or supplementary. Good, Ashton. So if my angle pair is congruent, I set them equal. If it's supplementary, I add them together to get 180. Okay? I want you to try B and D, and then we'll be done. Okay? I want you to try B and D. So decide what angle pair it is. Then decide if it's supplementary or congruent, and then find x. Okay? B and D.